Hello, spring you back. Right, so why the short scale headless bass? Well, there are two reasons for this. I haven't actually been asked why yet, but I thought I'd preempt it in case anyone's wondering. Reason number one, back in the 80s, Geddy Lee, the singer and bass player from Rush, and Kurt Smith, the singer and bass player from Tears for Fears, and on and off occasionally Sting, singer, bass player from The Police, and many more in the 80s were using Steinberger headless basses. I think all of those I've just mentioned will have had the L2, which was the genuine original Steinberger, which were composite body and neck, and they had an early version of this bridge, which you've seen in the videos. So yeah, basically some of my all-time hero bassy singy type people used to play them in the 80s, and I was fascinated by what's this strange shape, looks like a canoe paddle or a cricket bat, what is it? So later on in life I've acquired a few of these Steinberger type basses. None of them actually original Steinberger L2s, because you need £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 to buy one of those, probably more than that. Luckily for me, a bit later on in the 80s, Honor got the license from Ned Steinberger. He sold off the license to carry on using this stuff for guitars and basses, and then eventually it ended up at Gibson, who make the newer Steinberger Spirit guitars and basses at their Court factory. Court. I've had some Court basses, and Court make a lot of guitars for other manufacturers. I think they might be owned by Gibson or whatever. So anyway, that's besides the point. I've owned a number of Honor and modern Steinberger, Court, Gibson basses. I've obviously got this Honor Jack at the moment, which I like because it solves the problem of the strap position being wrong. So yeah, I love them. Right, which brings me on to another point, slightly going off track here. This is proving to be a bit of a problem. The problem being, it's awesome, it's genuine, it's a proper, I think this is a Mark IV bridge. It weighs 600 grams or 1.4 pounds. It's a big old lump. The saddles are, I believe, stainless. The rest of it is, I think, brass. If not, it's a very decent heavy cast material. Excuse me. It's awesome. It's so awesome that I can't find one on its own. They're a bit elusive. I've been in touch with some guitar shops that I've bought Steinberger Spirit basses from in the past, saying, how do I get spare parts? How do I buy a bridge? If I'd, say, broken my bridge and it was out of warranty, how do I buy one? They said, I don't know. I haven't got a clue, mate. I don't know. here's Gibson's Europe repairs or whatever, email, try them. So I've emailed Gibson Europe, and I didn't expect to get a reply. I don't suppose I will. If you look on eBay, there's hundreds of things that look just like this, really cheap, about 30 or 40 pound, and they're called Overlord of Music. They're not this, they are a cheap Chinese copy made out of plasticine and cheese. By all accounts, on bass forums, they're rubbish, don't bother with them. Which leaves me in a predicament, because I can't find at the moment anyone who can do one of these new or second hand. And I don't want any other bridge on my custom bass. And I can't take this off of any of my beloved licensed Steinberger basses, because then it will render a different bass unusable. And the jack, which is stripped down and got that off of it at the moment, I bought that cheap as a project, but the idea is to put it all back together, and it is worth at least twice what I paid for it. So anyway, I'm stuck for a bridge, so I'm not sure. There is one lead, a place in America, I think it's called Ed Roman Music. Anyway, I've sent them an email. They apparently buy loads of Steinberger guitars and basses and strip them for parts, and they've got all the spare bodies and spare parts from Steinberger's stock. Or it's a bit vague. They do list this bridge for the equivalent of about £160 sterling, which is fine, but I've got a feeling it's a naked bridge, and all of these bits are an extra $50 each, and another $30 each for these, and then the springs and everything that goes inside it. I've got a feeling it's probably about a $500 part, whatever that equates to in pounds. And there, I've looked at lots of other bridges for headless basses, which Hipshot do some nice systems, very expensive, but there you go. But they're not this, and I want this. So anyway, that was a bit of a sidetrack. So first reason for the short scale headless bass. Headless because I just like headless basses, always have them. Short scale. I'm going to put this down now because I keep winding these in and winding them back. Short scale. About 2.5 to 3 years ago, if my memory serves me correctly, I broke this collarbone, my left side collarbone. I snapped it completely in two. I had the choice of having an operation to have it sort of bolted, plated back together, which would have taken about 18 months to heal, or let it heal like that. It would take about 3 months to heal, and then I would have a permanent lump in my shoulder, which I have got, which you'll see if you ever see me in my vest. You'll see you can't see it anyway. Got a big lump sticking out of there. When I wear a Fender jazz bass or an ESP D4 bass, or a normal sized long scale full sized body bass, which is what I've always used for the last 40 odd years or however long it has been, if I try and put one of those on now, I can wear it for about 5 minutes. It absolutely kills. Although this is healed and it took 3 months to heal, the damage is there, it will always be weak, and it always gives me pain if I put any pressure on it. So I discovered the Squire short scale Jaguar bass just on the off chance, and what it means is it's the short scale neck is a lot lighter. The Squire Jaguar is a smaller body than the Jazz bass or the Precision. It's 4 inches shorter. The other problem I have, apart from weight bearing down on a strap on this shoulder, is reaching all the way down to the end of a 34-inch scale bass. When I overreach, this hurts, and I've found with a 30-inch scale this doesn't hurt. It's not much different from playing a 25.5-inch scale Fender guitar, 6-string guitar. So there you have it, Squire short scale Jaguar vintage modified special bass, which is brilliant. I love it. But then I figured I love headless basses and the Steinberger stuff. I love my Squire Jaguar vintage short scale bass. Why not have a cross between the two, which not only will be nice and short, it will be extremely light, there'll be no headstock on it, and I get the fantastic tuning stability from this, the look I want. And I know some people have built short scale headless basses, because I googled it, but very, very few and far between, not commercially available, one-off custom builders. So that's why I'm building my own, and there you have it. That's what it's all about. So I am going to continue to search for these. I can't put one of those cheap ones on, it will be just sacrilege. It'll be no point in building a really nice custom bass and putting rubbish on it. Pickup wise, I was saying in a previous video, it's going to be fun trying to find a single humbucker that sits in the middle to get the full range of tone. Of course, that's not an issue. There's plenty of basses out there with a single humbucker in the middle. For example, the very first electric bass ever commercially available, the Fender Precision. Okay, it's got a split single coil staggered. I think they're wound opposite, and it makes it a humbucker basically, ish. But anyway, so that's basically a humbucker in the middle of a bass that people have been using since 1950, can't remember, 51? Anyway, a long time since Leo Fender started producing them. So yeah, I'm not going to go for a precision bass pickup. I've got one of those in my Squire Jaguar. It's got a precision pickup and it's got a jazz pickup. Anyway, I should easily be able to find a decent humbucker for the middle. I've found a couple already, but they're a bit cheap, which sounds a bit odd, but you're going to build something custom, one-off. It needs to have quality equipment in it, and I don't want to fit a cheap pickup and then decide to change it in the future and realise that it needs rerouting for slightly different mountings and that. So I'm going to find me a nice pickup. A Bartolini would be awesome, but the ones I've found so far are £400 or £500 for one pickup. So I know I just said I didn't want cheap, but that would be a lot of overtime. So Anyway, that's enough from me. Sorry about the waffle. I just thought I'd throw this one in as part 7 as a bit of a change and a bit of an explanation to why I'm doing this, or sorry, why Sam is building this for me. The poor sod. He's enjoying it though. He loves it. So that's it. Cheers. I'll see you next time. And it's the 28th of March, and it is absolutely glorious. I've just come back from work. It's 5 to 5 in the evening, and it's just beautiful today. It's about maybe 14 degrees, but I think I need to get my bike out and just have an hour's ride on it to soak up this glorious weather. So that's me. That was really long and waffling. So peace and love. Thanks to everyone who's been commenting on it, this series, and let's see you for part 8. I think will be the next bit. Cheers. I've been Springy. Peace and love.